Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Today is Monday, August 22nd. Looking at the economical calendar, we got some Fed action in Chicago today. I don't think that's going to overall affect the overall market. Tomorrow, PMI data. So that comes out on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have durable goods. Thursday, we have jobless claim numbers. So that's going to be very important. Friday, we have a lot of news on Friday. We have PCE. We even have Powell speaking. And then we have 5-year inflation expectations. So you guys can find this on Market Watch. Let's get looking at the chart. So looking at the SPY over here, let's jump over towards the 1 year, 1 day. We've been talking about a possible pullback from that SMA line, which is that blue line. I know there's a lot of lines, but that blue line right here, we talked about possible rejection, and we talked about the market basically may have hit a wall. And you can see we basically hit that wall at that upper trend line where we were basically making lower highs. And that's where we basically rejected almost to the T, where we were making lower highs. And we are actually starting to break below that 1 year, 1 day trade line. We're sitting at 417, which is somewhere down here. So the market should wake up somewhere down here, which is pretty crazy. So let's jump over towards the 180 day. 180 day is very oversold. Looking at the RSI, MACD's crossed down. If we do get any type of downside, it is probably going to be high risk. So I'm expecting some type of bounce before we go forward into today. Even if there is going to be more possible downside, there has to be some type of bounce for us to be to feel kind of safe taking these short positions. 20-day is a little bit more on the oversold side too. You can see that it's still blue. So definitely want to watch to see if we get some type of bounce so we could go for some type of short positions. But if we do bounce, watch for a break and hold above 418, and then we could start basically pushing up towards 421. If we do start coming down lower, you could get in from the break of the low of 416 down towards 415. 415 is a major basically support zone and resistance zone. So I'd rather wait for that 415 break before we can start basically pulling down towards 412, maybe even 410. Now, the major thing to look out for this week, not even just today, is to watch to see if that 1 year, 1 day MACD crosses down. You can see it's already trying to cross down right now, and we're sitting around 417 over here. So watch to see if this crosses down, because then that's going to be the match to the overall downtrend. As you can see, the 1 year has a lot more room for downside, where if we're looking at the chart, if the 1 year really wanted to retest the bottom of the RSI, we may even pull back down towards the 380s, right? So let's see what happens. But overall, let's move forward towards the next stop, right? So next stop we're going to talk about is Tesla. Tesla basically has that stock split that's going to happen this week on the 25th. So make sure you guys are basically ready for that, because there's going to be a lot of volatility, and there has been a lot of volatility with Tesla. Been trading it to the upside and downside, but Tesla normally moves with the overall market. So we drop down to the 20-day. Tesla's oversold over here. You can see we're already trying to formulate some type of bounce. Watch for the break and hold above 880, and we could possibly push up towards 893. Kind of same situation with Tesla, where it's close to a strong support zone. You can see this 860 was a previous bounce zone. We even double bottom, right? We made one bottom and second bottom, and we bounce, right? So that's a strong support zone. So you don't really want to short into that. It's up to you. You could get in from 866 down towards that 859, and then be cautious around here just in case it wants to bounce. Or you could wait for that 859 or 858, and then we could start basically pulling down towards 840. Remember, it's oversold, so a short position is a high risk, not only on the 20-day, but it's getting oversold on the 180-day, and you can see we're already formulating some type of green candle. We are below that 180-day trend line, which is a bearish sign, so it could possibly want to bounce, retest this trend line, come back down. You never know. Make sure you guys are cautious and patient going into today. Next one we're going to talk about is going to be Amazon. Looking at Amazon over here, Amazon starting to pull back, which is pretty good. Amazon was pretty sideways for a long time. We did have that false breakout around like 146, and we started to come back down. You can see Amazon was basically a little bit more on the overbought side. See, start to hold below that trend line over here. That EMA line is what we look for a possible downside. So definitely want to watch to see Amazon. Amazon is looking like SPY and Tesla, where it's very close to a previous support level as well. I think that's the theme of the day. 133 was a previous support zone. You can see we basically pushed up towards that 140, came down, held that 133, and that was the major support that pushed it to where it was before. So you definitely want to watch to see that if we break that 133 zone, but it doesn't really make sense to short it from 135 down towards 133. It's up to you. You could go for it. That's not really a bad move. You could go from that 135 to that 133. Make sure you're very cautious around that 133, especially if we're rejecting that EMA. I would go for that move too. So watch out for that. We are very oversold. So just in case we do try to bounce, make sure we bounce and hold above the EMA over here. Preferably hold above 137. 137 was a previous support zone. As soon as we break 137, we could start pushing up towards 139 and maybe higher from there. Last but not least, we're going to throw in probably one of the most famous meme stocks out there right now is called GCT. So looking at GCT, we're on the 20-day. This thing just IPO'd. It basically came out from $12 and it made a high of $67. And to be honest, it's still showing signs of strength, right? So how do we know it's still showing signs of strength? We're basically holding above that 20-day EMA line as support. You can see that it's chugging along. So even though it pulled back from 67 all the way down towards 49, it's still holding above it. And that's a key sign you want to watch for these momentum plays or any stock. If you want to be bullish on any stock, this is beautiful right here. So you want to watch to see if we break 67 today. All right, you could get in early if you want. Preferably with these momentum stocks, I like to get in on the break of that high, make sure that 67 holds, and then we can start rocketing towards 80 and maybe even higher. This stock basically has no ceiling right now, so it all depends on how far they want to pump it. Now, speaking of pump, be very, very careful with this stock. This is not something you fall in love with, right? Because you guys know how all these pump stocks work, at least by now, hopefully. All these pump stocks typically end up going down eventually. So make sure you use a tight stop loss. Make sure you're prepared mentally for it to possibly get halted. Remember, in a halt, you can't sell. So that is very risky. So this is a very risky play, only for those experienced traders. I suggest that you probably, if you're not too experienced, don't go for this one. But 67, 30 to 80 and possibly higher, or we could get a nice drop from 50 down towards 39 and maybe even a lot lower. So definitely want to use the scanner today, especially to see if you see any other pump stocks going up. Just look for the highest percentage change from the day before. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys all have a green trading day. It is going to be a difficult day today. Definitely want to practice patience, use a stop loss, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a like below. Bye.